When passengers get on our trains, they move into a safe environment. We've been hugely successful at making train travel a really safe way to move around the country. And it's well over 10 years now since we had our last tragic fatality in a train accident. But as people are on the platform and getting on and off the train, that's a time when they're still at risk. And it's really important that we thoroughly understand that and to do whatever we can to make sure that we protect the people who use our railway. So Network Rail operates at some of the biggest and busiest stations in the country. Even though we only dispatch trains at one of those stations at Birmingham New Street, we still work with the train operating companies who work at the rest of those managed stations to make sure that when they're dispatching trains on our behalf, that's done safely. So we have a shared responsibility with those train operating companies to make sure that at our own stations, trains leave the station safely and all of the passengers are protected. This new version of the Railway Industry Standard 3703 is all about giving much better help to the companies across the industry to better manage risk on the platform and as trains are dispatched. It's a helpful guide to help all of the companies, whether that's Network Rail as the infrastructure manager or any of the train operators who look after many of the stations around the country, to make sure that we understand the right things we should do and then check that we're doing those in the right way. Network Rail's been involved in developing the third issue of RIS 3703 and we will make sure that that's used in our own risk assessments where we're responsible for train dispatch. We'll make sure that it's picked up and used by the train operators who dispatch in our stations, and we'll work with all of our partner train operating companies around the network to make sure that we're all aware of it, we're all picking up the good practice, and hopefully through that joint work we can protect passengers throughout the network. I'd commend this standard to any company working in the railway industry that's responsible for stations or dispatch. It's a really helpful guide. It's far better than the previous issue. It gives all of the steps that you need to do. It's really serving it on a plate. So use the good work that colleagues from across the industry have put in, pick up the standard, make sure we apply it, and let's keep our passengers safe. So the new version of RIS 3703 is freely available on RSSB's website. Just search with 3703 and you'll come across it, as well as the handy guide just for those who need a brief awareness.